Hello everybody, welcome to Grow to Glow Tarot. This is what to avoid right now. What should the people watching this video avoid right now? When this finds them, what should they avoid? The bottom of the deck, you should always avoid this one. So being bound by your thoughts, your fear, your anxiety, negative thoughts, being trapped by them. That's just a general, you should always avoid that. Wow. Okay. I didn't even ask for clarifier yet. Okay. High Priest and the Ace of Pentacles. Clarifiers for strength. Clarifier for the Tower. Interesting. I always think the Tower you shouldn't avoid. You should face it head on. Okay, but why should they avoid the Tower? Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles came out for Page of Pentacles. Sorry. Really? They really want to hammer that home. Anything else for Page of Pentacles? How about Seven of Wands? Oh. Went on the floor. Any other clarifiers for the Seven of Wands? Okay, Justice. Clarifiers for Justice. And I do take sideways cards. I take upright, reversal, and sideways. Unless, of course, the deck doesn't do sideways. What should they avoid right now? Why is Justice in the reverse? Give me a clarifier. No, that's not the only one. More clarifiers. anything else? Okay, at the bottom of this deck, in your unconscious, the Page of Cups. I don't think I've ever gotten this card in this deck. It's the first time I've seen it. So he's really staring at his emotions. Really thinking deeply. He's in this private place in this grove near the river. So he's in this nourishing, this safe environment, really studying his emotions, studying what's going on, trying to understand it. So what you should avoid right now is being too stuck in the past, too stuck in tradition when you're looking to have a new beginning. In any way here in the material world, whether it's with your health, with your body, or it's with career and finances, avoid being too stuck in the past, too stuck in your habits and your traditions and your ways. And avoid listening to the guidance of other people too much. Okay? You really need to go within and listen to your own guidance, and you may need a timeout period because the bear is coming out of hibernation, so you may need this timeout period to decide. Avoid looking at where there have been mistakes made in the past or there have been losses and you felt almost like a little child being scolded here, even by your own thinking. You've almost felt like you were stuck in this sort of less than mindset, or things were being taken away from you because you didn't do what other people wanted you to do. So avoid being stuck in that sort of mindset. You're going to get clarity on it. You're going to get clarity on. So everybody has a different. Notice this is 3 dogs, heads, Cerberus, right? The guardian, 3 of the goddesses' heads, right? Triple goddess. So an innocent young maiden, theoretically a virgin, and then a mother who nurtures, and then a crone who has wisdom, right? Who's older. So the moon, there are different aspects to each of us, right? To one person who is our friend, we might show one face. To another person who is our friend, we might show a different face. This is why gods and goddesses can have different names but be considered to be essentially the same god or goddess, right? By certain people, because different aspects are shown to different people in our lives. And it's the same with the people we consider to be gods or goddesses. It's the same with the people, we would consider to be. Some people are like, oh, fairies are dangerous and they're evil tricksters. Other people are like, oh no, fairies are sweet and they're kind and nice. A lot of it has to do the face that you show, or the aspect that you show to the person you're dealing with. A lot of it has to do with the way that they're approaching you. If you approach somebody with respect, then they will show you respect, right? And you'll have a good relationship. If you approach somebody with disdain and you're like, oh, I'm better than you are type of attitude, then they're going to give you attitude back, right? and you're going to have a problem with that person. But the person over here is going to be like, oh no, that person's really lovable, they're sweet, they're great. And you're like, are we talking about the same person? And so a lot of it is to do with the aspect that you're showing at the moment. We all have many different sides, like diamonds or other gemstones. We all have many different facets to ourselves, many different sides, and we show those sides in rotation at different points in our life and around different people and in different situations. So when you're looking at changing the things that you're doing, and when you're looking at what to avoid, being stuck in one aspect of ourselves where we're feeling like maybe we weren't good enough, or our thinking was off, and that caused a bunch of losses, that caused a bunch of like anxiety or depression or whatever. Understand that that's just one facet of yourself. Everybody has that facet. Everything has that facet. Dogs get depressed too. So understand you don't have to stay stuck in that. Okay? Understand you don't have to stay stuck in the past and in the way that you were thinking about yourself or in one particular facet of yourself. You don't have to stay stuck in a people-pleasing facet or in an anxiety facet. You don't have to always show that face to the outside world or to your friend or your boyfriend, girlfriend, or at work. You can change that. You can, show a different facet of yourself. So strength in the reverse. You're not taking time out to look at the spiritual side of your life, to look at your own growth as a human being. You really want to avoid letting your passions get the better of you, letting your emotions get the better of you. Now here's the sun. He was over here almost scolding you for your thoughts, but here he's giving you clarity. He's giving you a rebirth, a new beginning, a new opportunity. If you stop letting your passions get the best of you, if you start getting yourself together, get these horses, get the conscious mind, the ego state, the id, the subconscious mind, get them together so they can go on the same path, so that you can guide yourself on the same path. So avoid those two separate faces, those two separate dualities within you. Avoid letting them run your chariot amok. Avoid letting them run your life amok. Like letting your passions just take control and not really looking at where it is you want to go in the long term. The Eight of Cups goes to the Nine of Cups, which is a more long-term satisfaction because it's almost to the 10, right? So what are the short-term goals that are sabotaging your long-term goals? What are the short-term emotional satisfactions that are sabotaging your long-term goals? You need to look at those short-term satisfactions. They may look all shiny and bright and stacked nice and neat and wonderful here, but look, she's walking away from them. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just they're not what she wants in the long term. What is that quote? Willpower is just deciding what you want in the long term versus what you want in the short term, or not giving in to what you want in the short term. It's something like that. I phrased that wrong badly, but it is the Eight of Cups. That self-determination to move towards your long-term goal and avoiding these short-term distractions. A lot of it could be overindulging in food or other things. and spending that money and then waking up and being like, oh, I got bills. My bills increased because now it's the first of the year and all these changes, all these laws, all these things have happened, and boom, I overspent, during the holidays, or I overindulged in other ways, and now, I've got to correct that. I'm overweight or whatever, I have health issue, I got to overcorrect that by eating better. Whereas if I would have just, said no to some of those holiday cakes or some of those snacks that didn't really taste that good to begin with, they looked pretty, but they didn't taste that good. If I would have walked away from them, I wouldn't be overweight now and in trouble and needing to lose all that weight and eat all this diet food I don't want to eat. That's sort of like the Eight of Cups, right? The Tower. So, like I said, I usually wouldn't say avoid the Tower. You want it to happen because it's a change that happens, or it's a thought that happens because it's necessary. There's something better on the other side of the Tower. So, what I'm thinking this is saying is avoiding repeating cycles, because we have the Eight of Pentacles here. It's avoiding fearing change because you feel comfortable in the cycle that you're in, and you're not challenging yourself to start a new cycle. We have this Ace of Pentacles again. You're not challenging yourself to put on a different face or to get out of the traditions or to get out of where you feel like you were less than. You're not challenging yourself, so you're kind of afraid. You're avoiding that Tower because you're afraid, and you're staying stuck in these cycles and not having the new beginning, not having the opportunities for growth that you actually need, for your health that you actually need. And the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles, she's studying that pentacle. Pentacles mean anything in the physical world, they're earth, right? So anything here in the physical world, your physical body, i.e. your health, mental and physical health, which it's all tied together. Don't let anybody tell you different. Neurochemicals go through our entire body and they affect our mood. There's no denying that anymore. Back in the Dark Ages, maybe people thought, mental illness was caused by possession of the devil, that sort of thing, but they were called the Dark Ages for a reason. Okay? We know better nowadays. So it's all interconnected. So Page of Pentacles talks about your physical health, your physical body, your mental health. It talks about your career, your finances, which lead to physical possessions in the world. So it can also talk about those possessions, just themselves, and not about the career or finances that helped you get those possessions. So this page, it's all about studying the pentacle. It's all about studying the health, or it's studying the career and finances, or the physical possessions, right? It's looking at what's going on. And we've got the Six of Pentacles. Queen of Swords. You're looking at what you can cut out in order to provide healing, in order to provide the flow of creativity again. You're looking at where you can set your boundaries to heal yourself, where you can nurture yourself. In this Page of Pentacles, notice the green, the health, green is also money. Obviously, in some countries, in the US, we associate it with money. And we also associate it with the abundance of crops, springtime, etc., because the grass is green, right? So, I mean, not all countries associate green with money, but they do associate it with the fertility of the crops, abundance, right? So this Page of Pentacles, he's studying it and he came out with the Six of Pentacles. So learning this discernment, some of these crops, the grass it's fine on the mountain here, but some of these crops are new. They're just been planted. They've just been seeded. They're starting to sprout. So, when you're looking to heal your thoughts, you want to avoid being stuck in the past and not learning from a situation, because that halts your growth. You want to practice a balanced way of thinking, a balanced way of life. And a lot of that, in order to heal and learn from situations in the past, you have to study them in a very discerning way. You have to study them without your emotions present. You have to look at them from multiple angles, multiple viewpoints. You have to be discerning. So, like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? Truth is also in the eye of the beholder. There have been studies done where they've asked, like, they've set up an experiment, right? So we all know you witness some sort of crime. You're in a public place, you witness a crime, and then the police ask you what happened. So there have been studies done by psychologists where they set up, a mock crime, and they have all these witnesses, and they go back and they ask the witnesses what happened. And one person will say, well, this happened. The person was wearing like a red cap and a blue shirt, and they came in from the left, and then they did this, and then they went out that way. And the second witness will say they were wearing a blue cap and a red shirt, and they came in from over here, and then they left this way. And the third witness and the fourth witness, they'll be like, well, I don't know what color their cap was, but their shirt was red. And they came in somewhere over in here maybe, and then they walked past me right here. And so the thing that they found out is that memory is malleable. One, we already knew that. And two, what the truth of all of the witnesses were saying varied from witness to witness. So not only is beauty in the eye of the beholder, so is truth. And memories are not always exactly the way they seem, and neither is the truth. I hope that example made sense why I'm saying that. So you're needing to be, when you're trying to heal from the past and you're trying to avoid being stuck in these patterns where your emotions, your passions are taking over, and you're feeling like you're stuck in them, and you're afraid to change, but you're also feeling stuck. Like, part of you wants to change, and like another part is like, no, 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 no. It's helpful to remember that things are always changing, and that the memory from the past of something that happened that was really bad, you can look at that in a different light today. And it might not be the same. You can revisit that memory. It might not be the same for you as it was. You can look at it without your emotions getting in the way. And you can see it maybe from a different perspective. When you're looking to grow as a person, mentally, physically, spiritually, when you planted these seeds and you're practicing discernment, and you're trying to get this balance in your life, it's important to remember that like none of those witnesses were liars, right? Okay, so the truth is somewhere in between what all of those witnesses said. And the truth is like a conjecture, okay? It's, we believe this is the truth. There's no, between all of the witnesses, you would have to take what they said. You take each one at face value, but then you also compare them all and figure out, well, 5 people said the person had a blue cap and a red shirt, and the other one said a red cap and a blue shirt. So there's 5 versus 3. So odds are the person had the blue cap and the red shirt. And it's difficult when you're the only one who's inside your head. You're the only witness. Or you're the only one who's remembering things. And you're kind of, especially if you're stuck in these fears and anxieties, if you're stuck in these things, and you're stuck in that emotion, it's kind of hard to, how do I say it? It's hard to get the different perspectives and be discerning in order to heal that situation, in order to get unstuck. So the lesson here that you need to learn is about healing your own thinking. It's about setting your own boundaries. Where are you going to say, okay, I'm not going to think about this anymore. I'm done with it, and not bring it up, and not let it influence you moving forwards, not let it influence your growth and stunt your growth as a person. So where are you going to say, I'm not going to emotionally compensate for this issue, or I'm not going to let my emotions get the best of me, and I'm not going to fear change because of what happened in the past. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to grow. Where are you going to put that line? There's a cutoff that needs to happen. You need to tell your inner critic to shut up, to go away. You need to tell the critics, before you to go away. This is doing your shadow work. Notice, like a child again, surrendered, but there's a warrior right there, a warrior queen who is willing to help you face those fears and anxieties, that imbalance in thinking, and calm it down. And there's a new day here. The night is ending. There's a new day, a new beginning. So this 10 of Swords, where that inner critic is taking over, where you're feeling like you have to surrender, you're feeling broken, there is a change, a new beginning. And here we have the star. There's that darkness and that shadow work. You have to open that box and let all of that stuff that you've repressed, all that stuff that you're afraid of, the anxieties, you have to let them out in order to heal them, in order to get the star, in order to get your wish come true, in order to get your healing. These are, the bugs that you can see, the dragonfly up there, transformation. Okay? It's about transformation. So it's about this healing. Justice here. In the reverse, where there are distractions to your thoughts, you want to avoid those distractions. You want to avoid being too black and white in your thinking. If this, then this, and there's no middle ground. It's either this way or that way. And there's no middle ground. That's what you want to avoid. Justice in the reverse is saying this is an issue. This black and white thinking, where it's one way or the other, and there's no middle ground, there's no gray area, and there's all these distractions to your thinking. That's an issue. We've got the High Priestess sideways, the Three of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Hangman. So the High Priestess, you're kind of between worlds, right? You're between life and death, or you're between the upper world and the lower world, and you're not sure. You've got knowledge, you've got internal knowledge, you've got the ability to be in both worlds, but you're not sure which world you want to be in. You're not sure where it is you want to go or where you want to be. There is something keeping you from this new beginning. There is something keeping you from coming out of your hibernation and having this new beginning, from coming out from the underworld and being reborn as a phoenix, right? There's something keeping you from it, and only you know what that is. You would have to use your intuition, your knowledge, your internal knowledge. You have to cut out the distractions and cut out the either or thinking and use your knowledge to move past this. The Hangman, you're stuck. Where you're stuck, your old thinking needs to change in order to be replaced by new thinking. Old habits need to be replaced by new habits. In order for you to fly like the bird, in order for you to be free, the thinking has to change. Where you're chained to the way of thinking in the past that's very negative, it has to change. And the wheel is about that change. Notice, same scenery. The wheel is about what do you keep in your life, what do you take out. Scenery there, coming out, what are you letting in your life that is not helpful for you? It's not making you feel like you're king of the world. It's making you feel like you're being trampled over, you're being run over. Or it's making you feel like you can't hold on, like you're falling off, or you're struggling to rise, okay? You're struggling to get a better life. So really looking at where your thoughts are stuck in the past. Three of Pentacles. Coming up with a plan. This Page of Pentacles gets you started twice. And this Three of Pentacles says once you get rid of these distractions and this black and white thinking and you use your intuition, you're coming up with a plan to get yourself more pentacles, to get yourself more health, to get yourself, into a better position, career, financially, or possession-wise, a better position mentally or physically, health-wise. You're coming up with a plan to increase your things here in the material world, to increase your abundance. But a lot of it has to do with getting out of the old mindset and just facing it. You have to let those fears and anxieties out of the box. Let them out of the box so you can heal them. Okay? I hope this has been helpful. Take care of yourself. Avoid being stagnant. Avoid your emotions taking control, especially those fears and anxieties of the past. Avoid being stuck in the past, or stuck is, the people pleaser friend, or the caregiver friend, or, the person at work who does it all at the sake of, at the expense of your own health, or the expense of your personal time with your family, or just with yourself. Really look at it differently. That's what it's saying. You have to study the situation, look at it differently, and not stay stuck in it. Avoid staying stuck in it. Avoid letting the emotions and the negative thoughts take over too much. You need that healthy balance. You need those multiple truths, okay, of what the situation was or what it could be. I hope this was helpful. Take care.